A frantic final day on the campaign trail for Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton as they try to win over undecided voters. A record number of Aussies, nearly 7 million, have already cast their votes. The opposition leader was in WA targeting marginal seats as the PM hit the hustings in Tassie and Victoria, having started the day in Dutton's Queensland seat of Dixon.
I mean, these people are just not ready. They are just not ready for government. Australia deserves better, and I'll give them better.
Life will be cheaper under a coalition government because we'll have got rid of the worst, biggest spending government in 40 years, and we will manage the economy as John Howard and Peter Costello did.
Samantha Maiden is here to wrap this baby up. Sam, it's almost done. How has this campaign compared to past campaigns as far as you're concerned?
Well, look, there is a female comedian running in the seat of Richmond whose claim to fame is, among other things, that she did a stand-up routine making jokes about possibly wanting to have a romantic relationship with Barnaby Joyce, and she's likely to enter Parliament.
Wow.
So that's different. Look, I mean, you know...
You sound weary, Sam. You sound
There's stuff
weary.
going on. No, I love democracy. I can feel it in my fingers. I can feel it on my toes. I'm excited.
Well, Sam, since the referendum, really, in all honesty, I feel that all of the momentum was with the coalition until this campaign. What has happened, and is that your kind of judgment as well when it comes to Peter Dutton?
Look, I would blame something else. I would blame something that probably weighs about 100, 120 kilos and has orange hair. And his name is Donald Trump. So, look, I think the bottom line is I think you're right that there was a lot of confidence within the coalition after the referendum. You know, they made a big political gamble and it paid off. And then they started to think, oh, my God, maybe we could win this thing. And then along came Donald Trump. So if you talk to some Liberals, not saying all of them, they basically say that their vote started getting wobbly around the inauguration. It started dipping down during that Zelensky meeting, you know, those horrible images of that fight in the White House. And then it just went through the floor when he started going bananas on tariffs. And that could have been a bad thing for Anthony Albanese if it looked like Australia had gotten a bad deal. But when it became apparent that they were just spraying everyone with tariffs, the mood changed. And I think that the Labor Party has really tried to press home that idea that, you know, Donald Trump is sort of Peter Dutton adjacent, even though, you know, these two blokes have never met.
Is that why the PM was flexing today and campaigning in Dutton's own seat? Is it because Dutton's feeling that vulnerable, or is that vulnerable?
Well, I mean, that seat has always been a marginal seat, and it has been taken to the wire a number of times. You may recall quite a while ago, Dutton tried to jump out of that seat and get into another one because it's always been marginal. I still think that this whole Ali France can take the seat off him is a bit of what we call in the business a psyop. You know, it's a bit of a psychological game. But who knows? Crazier things that happen, right? I mean, did anyone expect that Tony Abbott would lose his seat? They didn't, and he did. So let's see what happens on Saturday night.
Samantha Maiden, they've left the hardest questions to me, and I just need to know, are you going to miss all the trumpet texts?
Well, look, I think that no one is necessarily fond of getting unsolicited texts, but I will say that, no one has made a greater contribution to Australian journalism than Clive Palmer with those in-your-face ads on every newspaper, website, television station. We might not like it, but, rightly or wrongly, it possibly is funding journalism.
Sam, just before we let you go, I have to ask, what are your predictions for tomorrow?
I'll give you my prediction. It's exactly the same as I think you asked me at the start. I think it'll probably be most likely to be a minority Labor government. We'll put the PM on, say, 74 seats. Obviously, on a good night, he hopes to get a bit higher than that, up to 76. But the range the Labor Party is expecting is 72 to 78. They need 76 to have a majority, so we'll see what happens. It'll be tight, but I don't think Peter Dutton can win on the current polling or the current seats.
And Sam, who are you voting for? Oh, we've run out of time again.
We've run out of time. We've run out of time.
That's a whole other story.
Once again, would you please thank Samantha Maiden? It's wonderful to have you, Sam.